Daniel Taillant is the Executive Director at the Commission for Environmental Cooperation, a collaboration between Canada, Mexico and the United States. He joins us now live, as you can see, from Montreal in Canada. So has the speed of this crisis caught the authorities by surprise?
Well, I must say, climate change has caught us all by surprise. And we are seeing, not only in Canada, but we see it in the United States, we see it in Mexico, we see it in Europe. Fires are a product of the climate being dry, of winds picking up, of the moisture being low, and we are seeing more and more events that are just further confirming we are in the middle of a climate crisis.
And any suggestion that this is happening somewhere far, far away is far from the reality, I would guess, given what's happening with the air quality now.
No, absolutely. And when we have one of these fires, we have to realize that the impacts are not only the tremendous impacts that we're getting locally, the need to evacuate, the harm, the destruction, but once this smoke gets into the air, this is moving through the airstreams. It goes around the entire region. It can actually move around the world. And nowhere do we see it more than in the Arctic region. And that's because the airstream takes the soot from the fires and deposits this soot on glaciers, on the ice of the northern parts of the world. That heats the ice, it heats the glaciers, it heats the sea ice because it becomes darker. And dark surfaces absorb more heat. And this leads to accelerated glacier melt. And then the next time we have less glaciers because they've melted away and the next fire continues. It's a feedback loop that just builds upon itself.
We've seen so many episodes of this now over the last month or two around the world. What is the answer now? What's the solution, the working solution to try and eradicate this?
Well, we've known the solution for a long time. We need to reduce fossil fuels. We need to reduce greenhouse gases. And it's not just about decarbonization. We can eliminate all CO2 emissions today. And the fact is, the world continues to warm if we don't address even more important reductions in pollutants like methane. Methane is 86 times worse than CO2. So if we reduce methane, if we reduce the black carbon that we're getting from the fires, if we reduce the dirty refrigerants, the HFCs, that are in our air conditioning systems, we can do an enormous amount to slow climate change. But we also have to introduce other strategies that help cool the planet. We need avoided warming strategies. If we shade our environments, if we make our environments cooler through nature-based solutions, we can use less AC and therefore use less emissions to produce that AC. So there are many things that we can do. We know how to do them. The agreement, the Paris Agreement that we signed several years ago, and the new agreements that we're signing in the COP meetings that happen yearly, we know the solutions are there. We are recognizing them. We need to start implementing.
And for those people on the ground, we're talking about a city of 20,000 people at threat now. You know, this must be a real shock for them to go through.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's not just this time around. We're seeing it. We're seeing communities that have lived through a fire before that are now living through another fire. This is recurring, and this instability and recurring impacts of extreme weather events, we're seeing it more and more. It used to be that we would get these events maybe once in a century or twice in a century. Now they're happening every year. And this is just further telling us that we need to act quickly, we need to have solutions quickly, we need to all be working, every part of society, government, the private sector, the energy companies, but everyone, even in their own homes, changing the way in which we live and ensuring that we have a more sustainable formula for our everyday lives, because we are all contributing to this problem.
OK, Daniel Taillant, live from Montreal in Canada. Thank you.